it's going down. Bringing all the good people straight out of town. Reptile lovers, cats and all watchers too. Tune in, y'all. We got the groove for you. Everyday keepers, that's how we roll. Sharing love and knowledge, soul to soul. Grab your leash or tank, let's take control. Come on. Everyday keepers, yeah, we break the mold.
Yeah. What it do? What it do? Sorry, we're not the glamorous, glorious of Naked Gardener done, but I guess we'll do it. Oh man, welcome to. I keep forgetting these sound effects.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Welcome to Everyday Keepers. We are your substitute hosts. I am Prince Elias for Creative Reptiles, and with me is.
Arachnid cat. Hello, everybody.
Woohoo! Yes, 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 yes. Thank y'all, thank y'all. And yeah, our father, our father is very busy today, this happy Sunday, so we're filling in for him. But we have a very, very wonderful, amazing guest. Can't wait to speak with him about his pets, his collection, his animals. But before we begin, Kat, you got any merch? No merch on you?
Okay, so I didn't have anything purple, but for Dawn, but I have this for Dawn. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, that's my merch for today.
Yes, yes, we love that Prince. We love that Prince. All right, for me, shouting out my favorite expo.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna leave me alone about number 6. Southeast Reptile Expo, Bob Vu and crew. Also myself, Creative Reptiles. And then we got on the wrist Wiz Tang Clan, Royal Caribbean's Exotics, Glizzy Squad, Keys Fisher, and Glizzy Squad. Yeah, thank you. That's our merch shout outs. Oh, welcome everybody coming in into the Chizzy Chats. We're gonna give them enough time to get their teas, their coffees. Let's go ahead and run our sponsor video. Then we'll come back and talk to the people in the chats. So let's shout out the
Banana
sponsors.
Bread Royals demonstrates that taking risks leads to incredible rewards. Their work with Hypo is outstanding, and the way they combine it with their Wookiee line is truly unparalleled. The interaction with other genes like Blackhead and Stranger produces breathtaking, one-of-a-kind animals. Be sure to follow them on Morph Market and Instagram. Lindworm Exotics specializes in a multitude of reptiles such as ball pythons, dual boas, coastal rosy boas, and false water cobras, to name a few. They are dedicated to providing the public with well-adjusted animals with superior quality. Follow them on Instagram and Morph Market. Black Box Reptile Cages should be your go-to for high-quality reptile enclosures and rack systems. They offer versatile hatchling and adult racks that work with both Vision and Freedom Breeder tubs, as well as a wide range of terrestrial, arboreal, and bioactive cages. Located in Buford, Georgia, Black Box Reptile Cages offers local pickup as well as ship and freight. Check them out at blackboxcages.com and use code WhiskeyBomb25 for 5% off. Selected Reptiles works with a wide range of genetic combos, including Hypo VPI Exantic, DG VPI Exantic, and Zebra, but where they stand out is their work with Monsoon, Monarch, Sunset, and other high-end morphs. In addition to reptiles, they produce premium feeder rodents, delivering to Florida, Georgia, and North and South Carolina. Make sure to use promo code WhiskeyBomb5 for 5% off any snake. Check them out on Wolf Market or reach out directly. From fur to feathers, Fuzzy Acres has your feeder needs covered. Whether you're looking for frozen rats, bulk rabbits, or harder to find feeders like quail and guinea pigs, they've got the stock serious keepers rely on. Visit fuzzyacres.com for clean, healthy feeders that are frozen and shipped with care. Remember to use code WhiskeyBomb10 to save 10% on any order, and as always, enjoy free shipping on all orders over $300. Grant and Mary of Rec Room Snakes have been breeding ball pythons and Woma pythons for over a decade. They're staples within the ball python realm, and most notably known for their work with the paint mutation and putting it to multiple codoms and recessives to truly unlock its potential. Please give them a follow on Morph Market to check out their incredible animals, and on Instagram to keep up with their projects.
And we back. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to the baddest DJ in the land. We appreciate y'all. Now let's see who's on these. Let's see who's on these Chizzy chats. Oh, we got South Park. Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you. There we go. Weekend Warriors. That's all I was waiting on. Weekend Warrior. Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate you. Jesus. Thank you for tapping in. Jamie. Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you. Jamie. Oh, and also GoFundMe. Jamie has a GoFundMe trying to save his house. So please share, donate, do whatever you can. We appreciate you. Link is in the description of the video, as well as hit up his Instagram. Thank y'all. We appreciate you, Jamie. Sammy, the Pink Panther. Thank you for tapping in. Yes. Let's see. Jesus. Oh, thank you for tapping in. I said hey to Jesus earlier. Oh, yeah. Vinny, Bone Daddy Service, thank you for tapping in. Weekend Warrior. Appreciate you. Uh-oh. Oh, Vinny. Oh, Vinny did it twice.
That's the Big Daddy.
Yeah. Thank you, Vinny. Appreciate you. Ah, yeah. Weekend Warrior Part 2. Both channels. Appreciate you. Twice the like, twice the support. Cookie Mine, thank you for tapping in. James B. Easy.
James B.
Appreciate you. Yeah. With the Whiskey Bomb emojis. Appreciate you. Yes. Kevin, Sugar Skull, thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Kev. Thanks for tapping in. Let's see. Brave, thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you. Always supporting, always in the chats. Thank you. Leopard. Prophet on here. Thanks for tapping in. Everybody putting the leopard for Wiz. Appreciate y'all. So let's begin. So we have a very special guest today, and I'm super excited. He's not a stranger to the Whiskey Bomb Network. Always in the chats, always supporting. Been on a couple of shows, but those shows was all about breeding. Today we want to get to know the man and his pet keeping. What does he keep? You know, which babies are his favorites? That's what I want to know. And, you know, other things like husbandry and how he cares for them, and maybe some socializations. We got all the questions. But without further ado, let's go. Oh, Darian, thanks for tapping in, Azani. Let's go ahead and welcome our guest, Kyle from Arkham Reptiles.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on with us today, this happy Sunday.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Hi, Kyle. It's been such a long
time. Yeah. How about you explain to us why you are so special to Miss Cat?
So actually, Kat's getting a snake for me. We talked yesterday. I think that's why she was making a joke about how long it's been since we talked. But yeah, Kat's just really supportive. So anybody that's really supportive, I'm gonna definitely have a good rapport with. So Kat has always she's been super supportive of everything I've been doing, and I do the same. And actually, Elias, you were one of the first people that I followed when I made my Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh
And then
wow.
so I've actually been following you for a while too. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's you we got a good group
Oh,
of
that's
people
good.
here,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. So, what for those who don't know, because some people watch Everyday Keepers and may not watch the other shows, just give us a brief introduction and how you got started with the reptiles.
So I got started with reptiles because my sister showed up and brought me a ball python in an enclosure and said her friend was leaving for college and, do I want this pet snake? And I said, sure. And that is how I got my first pet snake. And I named it Fluffy because it was named Fang. And it was a ball python that was a normal ball python, super chill. And I thought the name did not fit the snake. So I changed it to
Oh,
Fluffy, and yeah, I absolutely loved that snake. And I was like 15 when that
awesome.
happened.
Wow.
I'm like 33 now, so I started a while ago, and things were a lot different back then. Like the cage had a reptile carpet in it, and like outdated stuff. I changed
I,
that out pretty quick. The first time it Peter pooped on it, I think that was in the trash.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how far the world has come, how far I've come as a keeper,
Mhm.
and it's changed so much since then.
That's awesome. Now, what I want to know is, did you have the same husbandry steps that you had back then till now, or have they changed?
I absolutely did not have the same husbandry. First of all, I was 15, so it was hard to get me to clean my room. Um, but but I was pretty good about making sure it had fresh water. I
Yes.
don't even think that I literally put out a video on YouTube today about thermostats. I don't think my cage had a
mm,
thermostat. In fact, I know it didn't at first. I'm trying to think of when I
mhm.
finally got a thermostat. But I mean, when you went and got a snake back then, the people educating you on that snake were like the employees at Petco and whatever reptile shop, if you were lucky enough to have one locally that was only slightly better than Petco. Usually there's some good reptile shops, but yeah, I mean, my temperature was monitored by one of those stickies from Petco, and that does not shut your heat off, by the way, for anyone listening that
Right.
didn't know that. I'm sure most of you know that, but that does not help you at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
But
Especially with the glass tanks. Not at all. Do
yeah,
not.
yeah, it was in a fish tank, a glass tank, and with a screen top. I came home from school one day, and my mom had gone in my room and probably cleaned it because, like I said, I was horrible at cleaning it. And then her cat was inside the tank with the snake, uh,
No.
just sitting there, and I
These
was like, "That's
thingies,
crazy."
He had a roommate.
What's that, cat?
the thing that you were talking about, these plastic
The
little
little
thingies,
sticky.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
this does nothing.
It
I
does
still have
nothing.
that one is at least digital.
Right. But back
So
then,
I had the one with the
Oh yeah.
dial that was
Hmm.
like three
That dial
dollars.
never moved for me. Never.
Yeah, and I have some for humidity, but I don't even look at them, and I bought them a long time ago.
mhm,
I have some for humidity now, but most of my if I make a new cage, I'm not even measuring the humidity. I know by the snake and by its actions and stuff like that now what humidity it needs, and I keep things differently based on what species they are too. So my keeping has changed a lot. Everything I can, I do bioactive now. So
Mm.
as far as my pets, most of my pets are bioactive, with the exception of like my green tree python and my reticulated python.
Mm.
So
Okay.
most green tree people will advise you heavily against going bioactive.
hmm.
And I took their advice. So and I haven't had any problems with my green tree python. That's like one of the easiest snakes that I keep, to be
I
Wow.
real
heard.
honest.
I heard
Um,
that from a lot of people that who are not breeding, they just want one as a pet. That it's like the easiest. Once you dial in the temps, set up, put the snake in, it's like the easiest thing to care for.
Yeah, you said it, Elias. Like it's the easiest snake to keep. It's one of the hardest ones to breed. So
Oh.
yeah, as far as keeping it, super easy. They need just low temps. I think mine is at like 83 on the hotspot.
Okay.
And then I just make sure that it has enough humidity when it's shedding. Here and there, I have like paper towels in there. I'll just dampen the paper towels. If I want to clean the cage, I just take the entire perch out with the snake on it and just put it somewhere, and it doesn't even move. You know,
Uh,
especially during the day, we're talking about a different animal than at night. But
yeah.
yeah, at night it just wants to eat everything in sight. But during the day, it's like it could care less what I do. I could clean the cage.
It's
Sometimes
there.
I have. If it's wrapped around, like I have a thermostat wire in there. If it's wrapped around that wire, and I can't pull it out without yanking the wire off,
Mhm.
then I'll literally just clean right under the snake, and it doesn't
Mm,
do anything. I could bump it by accident, and anything. It doesn't care at all.
yeah.
Yeah, and like my scrub python, my boa, my coastal carpet that's a pet, my corn snake that's a pet, my leopard gecko, all that stuff is bioactive. So like if I was to keep only pets and not do any breeding, I'd probably and if I had more space, I'd probably just do everything bioactive. I mean, I recommend to people that get stuff from me, just go bioactive. It's easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I did I did cocoa for a long time, but I actually, when I got into breeding, I got a bunch of different snakes at one time from different people. So I was just
Mm.
online. I want this. I want this. I want this. I'm gonna get all of it, and I ended up with mites.
Oh
And I
no.
threw out probably $1,000 worth of bioactive stuff. And
Wow.
I didn't know. I've heard now you can treat the soil and stuff like that. No one told me
Okay.
that then, but I've
So you
heard
was
that
like
now.
everything in the garbage, everything.
Yeah, everything went in the trash. Literally everything. And I used ivermectin. Like, if anyone's ever dealt with mites, you might know what ivermectin is. Hopefully, you haven't dealt with mites. But
Knock on wood.
ivermectin it's actually for cows. So I drove like an hour
Mm.
away to a tractor supply store, and I was like, "Hey, you guys have this specific brand of ivermectin?" And the guy was like, "Yeah." And then I told him I was using it for snakes, and he was like, "What?" And then he was like, "Good luck, buddy," or whatever. And then I used Snake Discovery made a video on the exact ratio, and my
Yeah.
wife is a nurse, so she just like mixed it right up. And then I treated them like I did like 3 treatments before I was sure that the mites were gone. And the way I was able to tell was I had a clown pied,
Mm.
and the white parts were just covered in dots, and I was like, okay, that's
Yeah.
mites. You know,
Put the bells and the pies were the indicators.
Yeah, so get you guys some white snakes so you can tell. But yeah, but yeah, like I've been quarantining everything ever since, and I made that was a big mistake because I already had pets that were
Mm.
bioactive. I had made a wooden enclosure that was a 6x4 by it was 6x4 by 2, I think. And
Wow.
I had built it, and I had to throw the whole thing out because mice can live in wood.
Yeah.
Dang.
And my breeding stuff for that reason is still on paper towels. Most of my breeding stuff, and I do find ways to keep the humidity still for the species that need it.
Yeah.
But I've now finally built my pets back up and recovered from my financial loss and built my pets back up to being bioactive because I do think that's easier. Just make sure you quarantine new stuff you get
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know. But bioactive is so much easier because when your snake pees, you can take out the physical urate or stuff like that. But that other pee that soaks into the cocoa, you're not going to see that. And that type of stuff just stays there. And in bioactive, you have stuff eating that, and it's
Mhm.
going into an
Get
environment
rid
that
of
if
it.
you
Yeah.
add enough isopods, then it's a positive, environment as far as
Mhm.
what
It's an
word am I looking?
ecosystem.
Yes.
As far what'd you guys say?
It's an ecosystem.
Yeah, it's an ecosystem. The bacteria,
Yeah. Yes.
you have a positive relationship with the isopods eating the bacteria. Just get a
Yeah.
lot of springtails, a lot of isopods, and I
Mhm.
don't even have plants because my snakes keep ripping the lights out. Um, but I managed to keep the isopods and springtails alive with just pork and leaves and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And the sheds, I leave the
All
sheds
right,
in.
Kim. Thanks for
Yes.
tapping in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I did
they
Oh yeah,
crush
I
those
did hear
sheds.
that. Yeah, I did hear that people leave the sheds in because the
that.
isopods like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
they love the sheds like it's crazy. They
Yeah.
literally just shred them to pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good food for them. I've bought isopod food, but I don't like it because whenever I pour it in, it molds. So
Oh,
I
so they're
don't.
too busy eating everything else. They're not even.
Right,
they
right, and they're
they
fine
just
without
leaving
it.
that off to the side.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I just all my stuff it rips the lights out, so it's hard to put plants in. And I'm keeping like a 6+ foot boa. You're not going to be able to keep many plants in a
Not
cage
at
with that.
all.
And
No.
my even my scrub python, it's like 6 7 feet, but it's like real skinny. But it literally, for some reason, I had plants in with him. They were doing well for a while, and he ripped them up by the roots, just wrapped around the bottom, and just yanked the whole thing out.
Yep.
I don't know if he was anchoring his tail on it or what, but he just pulled the whole. He just was the plant destroyer, man. I mean, but I tried with the plants, but the isopods and the springtails are lifesavers. Those things
Yeah.
are completely awesome.
And
You don't have to
honestly, I
worry as
feel
much.
like yeah. And honestly, I feel like that's just an extra responsibility. Now, shout out to all the plant parents. I know there's some people who love care for plants,
And it looks
and I'm
nice when
not
they
gonna.
do.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I do want
That.
to invest, like Cat. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I do want to invest in some Venus flytraps,
Those are cool.
just
Yeah, I
so
do
in the
too.
summertime, like right now, when I have to fight these these
Yeah.
gnats and stuff
Yeah, I
like
hate
that and
those
fruit
gnats so
flies.
much.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to caring for reptiles and caring for plants at the same time, it can be a little time consuming and difficult.
It
Mm-hmm.
I'm
can,
pretty
especially
sure.
when your snake just rips the light out of the ceiling.
Because the snakes don't care. They don't care. They're like, what is this? Move this out the way.
Right, they're just destroying everything they can. I have a hard enough time keeping the radiant heat panels plugged in. My
uh,
boa still disconnects hers. I tried to put them all like right up on the wall, and then
and
she
they
still
still.
finds a way in there and unplugs hers all the time. So every day I'm just checking to make sure her heat's on and stuff
Oh.
like that. But luckily the cage is so well insulated because it's PVC. It takes a while to come down in the temperature. So by the time I
Mm.
figure it out, she's only down to like 81. So I'm like,
Okay.
all right, cool. Stop doing that. Then
Yeah.
yeah.
As far as keeping goes, okay, we know at 15 to start off with a classic, super classic ball python.
Yes.
What was the next pet reptile that you got, and at what age after the first one?
I was probably like 19 when I got my next snake, and it was a jungle carpet.
So you
And
jumped straight from ball to jungle carpet that fast?
I did, and it was in a Petco, which was insane because I've never seen one in
Wow.
a Petco since. Not that I spend a lot of time there
Me
anymore,
neither.
but it was in a Petco, and they didn't know anything about it. I mean, they told me it was wild caught, which was impossible because it's from Australia, and that's banned. So there's no way they had a
Yeah.
wild caught jungle carpet,
Unless
and
unless someone did something they weren't supposed to.
right. And it was like really black and yellow. So everyone, people, a wild jungle carpet is not as black and yellow as the jungle carpets that we have in the US. They've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
selective bred for years to look like that. So
Wow.
it was like clearly captive bred. They just thought it was wild caught because it kept biting them.
Well,
They're
caught.
like, it's got to be wild.
So tell us about that. How did you do with socializing that, or did you not have any success socializing that one?
I had great success socializing that, and I think it set the tone for the rest of what I do. So
Mm.
it bit me twice in the store, and I was just mesmerized with it. I was like, I
You
want
was
it,
like, I love it.
and I bought it, and then I took it home, and not even kidding, it bit me like 50 times. Like literally, it would bite me and then release, and then turn around and bite me again in like almost the same spot, and it was just wrapped around me super tight. It would pee on me. It was peeing on me, pooping on me. I literally got a plastic tub and moved it underneath where I was holding it so I could keep holding it. And no one taught me how to socialize a snake. I just didn't put it down until it stopped biting me.
Until
Oh
it
Um,
wow.
realized, oh, he's not gonna hurt me.
right. It at least it realized it wasn't working.
Yeah.
It was
He was like,
still really
dang,
scared. So I
he
don't know if
can't
it
leave me
realized right
alone.
away. Maybe it sunk in later, but it was like shaking. It was scared still. But it
Wow.
stopped biting me after literally like 50 times. And
Yeah.
I was so happy. Like I couldn't believe this little thing was so feisty and it just kept biting me. It was out for blood. And I was mesmerized by the snake. I loved it so much. And I put it back when it finally stopped biting me. The next day I took it out and it bit me like 15 times that day. And then I didn't put it back until it stopped biting me. And the next day it bit me maybe like 10 times. And then after 10 days, it never bit me again.
Hmm.
Oh
And I
wow.
actually I had it at 0 bites after 7 days, but my friend came over and he
And set it
smelled
off
different
again.
than me or something. And I let him hold the snake and bit him immediately. And I don't know if he just wasn't holding it the same way as I was, or if it was him being a different person, smelling different. He didn't have the best hygiene at that time. I'm not going to go into that, but I think, I think it could smell him. But he held it and it lit him up, and I was like, man, you just undid all. I was mad at him. I was like, you just undid all the progress that I just made, bro. Like, and he was like, it's just a snake, man, And it took me like 3 more days of it biting me, maybe a couple times, and then after 10 days, I did not let him pick it up again, but it never bit me again. I could hand it to people that were not him, and they could hold it.
You
and
just made it your friend.
I trusted that snake more than the other snakes I had. I ended up with a corn snake after that too, and I trusted that snake so much because I understood it, and I knew its mannerisms, and I knew how it acted when it bit me. So therefore, I knew it wasn't going to bite me because of the way it was acting and how much it had calmed down. It eventually sunk in that I was not a danger and that everything was okay. And it was one of the most, to this day, one of the most defensive snakes I've ever dealt with.
Wow.
At least
Mm.
initially. I've had some be more stubborn with calming down, but that one initially was probably the most defensive snake I've ever picked up. And the people at Petco were terrified of it.
I
So,
know they was.
yeah.
They were waiting for you to get it. Like, take it
They
home.
was like, somebody come by this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy would not take it out of the enclosure. And he was like touching it with a pencil. And he was like, if you want to hold it, you can pick it up. I'm not picking it up.
Wow.
And then I picked it up and it bit me and I bought it. But that snake kind of set the tone for, like, I didn't care too much about getting bit, you
Yeah.
know. And I had friends that kept a lot of snakes. They had a lot of different snakes, and I got to see a lot of species through them. And they were my friends at the time. I still know them, but they're not close to me like that anymore. But they were keeping pretty much everything incorrectly. So they
Mm.
would have endless reptiles, but for very short periods of time. But I got to see a lot of species through them. Like they had blood pythons. Just randomly went on Craigslist and got like a 7 foot boa that was just lighting them up.
Wow.
Uh, that thing was hilarious. I mean, like they would pass it to me and I would hold it and it'd be sitting there in strike position. And then I would feel it just start, like I would just get a feeling and I would hand it to them and it would just start biting them. Um, but they had this wild caught yellow rat snake that was just crazy, and it would
Mm.
bite you like 8 times before you got it out of the enclosure.
Uh,
But I got to experience a lot of snakes through them and animals. They had monitors, savannah monitors. They had a cat will know this. They had a cobalt blue tarantula, and we used
wow.
to hold it. I had no idea what it was, and apparently it's one of the most venomous tarantulas that exists. We
Yeah, it's
used to
no
just sit
go.
there and hold it. My buddy was like, "Here's my tarantula. Just pass it to me." And I'm just holding it, and later I find out what it is. I'm like, I was not supposed to be holding
No.
Your friend trying to kill you. That's attempted murder right there.
that. Right, like they're bad. Like I'm sure Cat will tell you. I don't know if there's any tarantulas that'll really kill you, but the bite will be
But
nasty.
would be nasty and you'll be
Yeah,
feeling
so
it for a
I
minute.
was like lucky that thing didn't bite me. And he lost that tarantula in his house and never found it.
No.
Literally, it was bright blue. It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
beautiful tarantula.
Yeah.
And I held it all the time. It never was showed me the slightest sign of aggression. But when I figured out what it was later, I was like, "That's crazy," you
Yeah.
know. And that's just me being a dumb kid, just trusting everybody. But I saw a lot of species through them, so I think that got me into more of the species and keeping different stuff. And then I eventually started going to expos and seeing different stuff there. And I was that guy at the expo asking everybody to hold a snake. I was like walking up to every booth, like, "Oh, Amazon tree boa, can I hold that?" And then like I walked up to this table, and I won't say who it is because they're actually prominent in the industry. But I walked up and they had wild caught emerald tree boas on the table, and I
Wow.
was like, "Can I hold that?" And the guy was like, "You know what? I've been waiting all day to see someone get bit."
Ah,
And then I picked that snake up, and it was just super chill. And I don't know if it was because it was probably half dead because it was an import emerald tree boa. And it
wow.
was like a $200, $300, emerald tree boa just sitting there on the table. But it was super chill. And the guy was like all disappointed. But he ended up letting me hold a wild caught green tree that lit me up. But yeah, he probably felt better then. But yeah, I mean, that was me. I wanted to go see if I could hold this snake or that snake that I wasn't supposed to be able to, and see if it would bite me, or when keeping it, see if it would continue to. So that's kind of why I got into the stuff that I got into. Is I was always fascinated with, like, is this animal really that bad, or is it just going to calm down like that jungle carpet did?
Yeah.
So that's like kind of what I base my socialization around. Is to a degree I don't care if I get bit. Now being older, I don't get bit like on purpose, you know what I mean? It's not like I was when I was younger, really, but now I know ways to minimize it and stuff like that. But at the same time, if I get bit, then I'm holding you for 15 extra minutes,
Yeah.
because you got to learn your lesson.
Now, did you notice a difference when you know how when we were kids we go to a pet store and all the tanks were the top opening ones, and I feel like the animals they would feel like scared. That's why they would always bite because you're reaching in, predator, right? So did you notice the difference when you would get like the slide opening doors now that you have them now, right? So
Yes.
did you notice a change in their behavior?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So yes, massively that impacts the behavior. So if you're reaching in and grabbing an animal like you're an eagle, and you're grabbing the snake from above, that's going to trigger something naturally in that snake.
Yeah.
At the same time, another aspect is that boa that was biting my friends was much closer to being a wild caught snake, and I don't know if it was or not, but it was much closer to being a wild caught snake than the boa that I have now. That's 20 years different, 15, 20 years different.
Mm-hmm.
So, 20 years of captive breeding does a lot for the attitudes of these animals. So that's why when some of the species that I have, where I'm dealing with wild caught snakes and F1s and stuff like that, I remember that and I'm like, you know what? In 20 years, this could be the calmest snake you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in 1970, when they started breeding reticulated pythons, they weren't the reticulated python that I have now. They were the worst possible thing that you could see coming out of a cage. You know what I mean? But now, like, mine has never struck at me one time. And that it's a world
Same,
of difference when you
same.
just continually captive breed something for years and years. Like ball pythons, I don't even temperature cycle my ball pythons, and I breed them,
Uh,
and I produce clutches, and that's just because they've been captive bred for so long that they don't
mhm.
need that trigger. They've become domesticated.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And a
Yeah,
custom.
so it's
Yep.
like, over time that's going to happen. And some snakes are naturally more docile, like ball pythons.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure if you went right now and got a Dinker project that was a wild caught, it would act completely different than, your years and years of captive bred ball pythons.
Yes, I got one in my house now. Now she's not mean. She's never struck, never tried to bite, but even in her fear, how she balls up and protect her head and stuff, totally different from captive bred ball pythons that are who could exhibit the same fear that they have. Like two snakes could be afraid, and when the way they balled up, or react is totally different. Like no matter what, even though she's calmed down and gotten accustomed to me, the moment anything touches her, she flinches and jumps like real heavy. And I'm like, yeah, that's that wild caught energy.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy you say that because my wild caught white lip pythons don't even try to bite me. They just try to get away, you
Yeah,
know. And
basically, it's like let
it's
me
the
run
captive bred ones that'll sit there and try to bite me endless
and
time.
square up. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, you know what, I'm here. We're gonna fight it out right here, you know.
What up, Greg? Who the fuck is Greg? Thanks for tapping in.
But yeah, I mean the most difficult snake for me to tame out was probably my scrub python. And
Mm.
it might just be a personality thing with that particular animal because I have two scrub pythons right now. And one is like a juvenile. So it's still like I
Okay.
can't really speak on my experience with that one because I haven't seen it through the whole process yet.
Yeah.
But the other one that I have is like 4 or 5 years old, and I got it as a juvenile, and that one took a long time to earn its trust. Like
Yeah.
I would be holding it for like 20 minutes, everything would be fine. It would just turn around and bite me. Hey, Greg, what's going on? I just met Greg at the All American Reptile and Plant Expo. He was cool.
Greg is funny.
Nice. That's dope.
That was a good expo. That was the best expo I've ever seen in Virginia. Virginia's where I'm from and it's where I live, and that was the best one I've ever seen over
Yeah,
here.
I love the one that came to Nashville. They had baby otters. I got to hold an otter. That
What?
was crazy. Yeah.
That's super cool.
That's a memory for a lifetime. But yeah, I love Troy show. Shout out to the All American Plant and Reptile Expo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
that's a great expo. Yeah.
yeah. So as far as your pets go, oh, first question, you what lizards do you have?
I just have a leopard gecko.
Oh, just leopard. Okay, okay,
Literally just
cool.
one leopard gecko. He
One
was
Leo.
Good one.
he was supposed to be my son's, but he ended up being mine.
I think that's the story of every parent in the
Yeah.
reptile
Yeah.
hobby.
Yeah.
There's a reptile that's supposed to be the child's, but it's yours.
Yeah.
It's how I learned that he was afraid of crickets.
Oh, oh,
You know what? That's one of the reasons why I have yet to get another lizard because all the lizards I want and like they deal with bugs, and I'm like, nope, can't do
yeah.
Yeah, like I have a discoid roach colony right now.
it.
And
Mm.
I'm not scared of them, but they're the last thing that I enjoy cleaning. I'll say that.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, sidetrack question? How do you clean them?
So basically, I just take another container. They have like like when you buy a big box of eggs at like Walmart that has like 60 eggs
Hmm.
in it. Those egg cartons, not the other egg cartons with like a dozen,
Got
but
you.
those
Okay.
egg cartons, you just pile them up and they're in layers in those.
Yeah.
So as long as those aren't dirty, sometimes they'll eat through them. If
Mm-hmm.
food gets
Cool.
stuck to them, they'll literally eat all the way through them and stuff. And you
Yeah.
just got to change them out. But if they're not dirty, you just pick it up, move it to another container, and you just wipe down the whole container.
Yep.
Pick up any
Okay.
roaches that are still in there and just move them to the other container, and then switch them back and wash out whatever you put them in.
So do you just use regular soap? Because I would think most chemical products would be harmful
You
for,
know what? I
you know.
use F10, but I've never had a problem with it.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
think about that, but I'm sure you could use Dawn dish soap too.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I didn't think about that, but I use F10 just like I clean my snakes with.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can
Cool.
just use water and vinegar. That's the safest way.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then, for your small colony, this size is good too.
Okay. Gotcha.
I
I have.
started with I have mine in a big plastic tub. I started with 1,000, and
Mm.
I was selling them because I was like, this is way too many.
You got
And then
wasted.
yeah, I sold them down to where I have like 100 or 200 now, and now the container they're in is completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
But before it was like crazy, like it was loud. You could hear them at night,
Mm-hmm.
just running around in there. And like literally, I could drop an entire fruit, like a banana, an orange, whatever I put in there, and it's just gone.
Yeah.
Just no trace, like it was never even there.
Yep. They like citrus a lot. A lot of citrus.
Mm.
Yeah, they were crushing it. I stopped feeding them oranges because I found those gnats laying their eggs in. and I was like, I hate you guys. You know those gnats. But I have now.
Yeah.
I have those traps that plug into the wall and they light up. I don't know if you've
Oh
seen
yeah, yeah,
those.
yeah, yeah. I know which ones you're talking about.
That
Yeah.
those seem to be working for them. But a Venus flytrap would not be the worst thing in the world. I definitely, I think they're super cool. You know, I've been
Yeah.
watching videos of those. I think they're pretty awesome. So that'd be kind of cool.
Just don't keep them in the sun.
Zap.
Oh, they can't. Oh, they can't do the sun.
No, they'll burn up and die.
Oh,
What, the
see,
Venus
well,
flytraps?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
probably a
glad you
good thing.
said
I could
something.
probably just
Yeah.
keep it wherever then.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cause
that's pretty cool.
cause all my snake racks and stuff are away from the windows, not even close to them. So yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. But I at the Sears show, the last Sears show, it was a booth that had a whole table full of the Venus flytraps, and also that I don't know what's it called, but the longer tube
Yeah.
like plant that also are carnivorous.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I want to buy like five of these right now and take them to the
That's so
But
cool.
yeah, yeah, that's crazy. But what temperatures can do those plants? Because my issue is in the summertime, all my snake racks are shut off because I'm on ambient. That's how hot it gets in my apartment. Like no matter what, the window unit does not cool the house
Yeah.
down. It doesn't do nothing. So like right now, the reason why I'm podcasting here and not in my actual apartment where I'm at with the
Right.
snakes is because it's 85 degrees in there.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
As long as
Everybody's
you
on
don't have,
ambient right now.
yeah, as long as you don't have direct sunlight on them, they'll be fine.
They'll
Where
be
are they
fine. Okay,
native
cool.
to? Do you know?
Native, I have no idea.
Because I would think they'd be from someplace tropical.
I have no
Mm,
idea.
I have to do more research because I
Yeah, I
really
want to
want
check
one
that
now.
out now. Now I'm
I
super
really,
interested.
Yeah.
I really want one now.
Just
Oh
started
man.
with a war against gnats, and look how far we've come.
Hmm. You could do the Egyptian way of getting rid of gnats.
Yeah, what's that?
Okay,
The Egyptian way.
so on your window sill, whatever, you take a Ziploc bag, fill it with water, and tie it up so it's like hanging, and then you just hang it up on the windowsill, and you just watch them all go towards the little baggie, and they drop and die. It works. It works with flies. It works with gnats.
A Ziploc bag of just water? That's it?
Yeah,
What's killing them?
I have no idea. I feel like they just gravitate to the light of the water, and then they just get dizzy and they just fall and die. I don't know, but
Uh,
it works.
that's
That's
crazy.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that is. I might have to try that.
Yeah, and record it too and send it to me if it works. Yeah.
Oh man. So Kyle, you said scrub, carpet. What? Oh, you said what other? Oh, white lips. Yeah, yeah. So how is it caring for the white lips? And how many do you have?
I got 15 right now.
Ooh, 15 white lips. How is it keeping 15 white lips? I need to hear about
Yeah.
this.
So 9 of them right now just hatched, and they haven't even had their first shed yet. So their personalities haven't all the way kicked in on those.
Okay.
Um, most of them are pretty chill right now. I had one literally come right out of the egg and then latch onto my hand and wrap me. And
It
that
was
was actually
born
really
ready
funny. I
for
took
war.
pictures of it.
Yeah.
It let go and then adjusted and bit me and wrapped me again, like, and it did it like 3 times, and I was like, this one I'm gonna have no problems feeding.
Yeah.
But that thing was ready to go immediately. And
Yeah.
most of my white lips are pretty chill. The one I have one cage aggressive one, and he's a 13-year-old captive bred male, and he's
Mm.
beautiful. I post him all the time because he's the most golden one I have. I named him King Midas, but he is super cage aggressive. But once you get him out, he's okay. And the babies can be really bitey. It's kind of like the jungle carpet thing. Like if you just keep holding them, from my experience, they've been good. And I had one that I raised up that's now a breeder that was super bitey as a baby. My wife named him Rolly because when I unboxed him, he bit me right on the wrist immediately.
Wow.
And she was like, "I'm gonna name him Rolly." And yeah, then I've tamed him out like almost completely. here and there, like the day after feeding day or something, you'll open it up and it'll be like, "Who's that?" But other than that, for the most part, I just reach in and grab them. I don't hook train them or anything like that. I
Mm.
just go pick them up. The humidity is not that hard to keep. Just give them a humid hide, with some sphagnum moss, or literally, I'll actually buy cocoa and use that as a humid hide too. So like, I'll have a humid hide full of like moist cocoa and stuff like that. But as long as you give them that place to go get humid, and they have another place that's dry, then they're good. And you don't got to keep them super hot. I know people that
Okay.
keep them at like ambient of like 80. But I keep my hot spots at like 86, and then at night I do a night drop down to like 81. But I don't even temperature cycle them either. But they're super easy to really, to be honest, they're pretty easy to keep. They're not that bad. Like, and their attitudes are kind of exaggerated as long as you're willing to. It depends who you are. Like, if you're willing to
Yeah.
take that initial couple bites when they're younger, then you don't have to
Yeah.
deal with them being a mean adult. I've taken a bite from a 7 foot male that I got a couple different times, and it wasn't that bad. So they got the most teeth out of any python, but the teeth are
Mm.
not huge. So the bite left a bruise because of how strong he was.
Wow.
But the bite itself, like a day or two later, you couldn't even see it. It was just like being bit by any other non-venomous snake. Nothing crazy. I would say the scrub python, their teeth are no joke. But they're not like emerald tree boa teeth, but they're like
Mm.
mini emerald tree boa teeth. They're like little swords in their mouth, you know. But I could still take a bite from him right now and be totally fine. But he hasn't bit me in like a year. But he's
Okay.
still like cage defensive and stuff like that. He hasn't bit me in like a year. But yeah, the white lips are great. I love them. I mean, they're awesome snakes. And I
Are
have
there
some that
any?
I'll literally pass to kids.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
I was finna ask, are there any safe enough to show us on the show right quick?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I could show you even the one that I was talking about being dangerous. But
Okay,
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I'll definitely show you some. I'll take out the one that I was saying was tame, and I'll show you her
good.
first. She laid the eggs for us this year, so I'm wondering if the babies are chill because of her
Because of her,
genetics.
except for the one who chose violence first day out.
You know what's funny is the males are not as chill, and it seems like the male babies are the angrier ones so far.
Mm.
So I
They
don't
get
know
it
if
from their
that's be,
daddy.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they're taking after their father, I think, more so. But yeah, let me get out Belle first.
Yeah.
She's the
That's
That's
one
female
she's
that
thing.
laid
so
10 eggs
pretty.
for us. She's
Yeah.
super sweet.
While you're doing that, I did notice that about my first clutch.
Mm.
The girl, well, actually, all of them except for one is very vocal. So they will huff and like hiss, but they won't do no biting. But but they get it from their dad. Like their dad hisses all the time, no matter what.
Yeah, it's funny that they pick these traits up, because it's
Yeah.
totally true. You can totally see it in the babies that, they pick the traits up from the parents. Yeah, this is
Oh
Belle.
wow.
Yeah, she's so
Aw.
pretty.
She's a sweetheart. Yeah, she's literally a wild caught female.
Wow.
And I will pass
And
her to kids.
do the babies come out looking that dark as her, or do they a little bit lighter and they
I could
change?
show you. They look gray
Okay.
right now, and
Oh,
they haven't
great.
shed
Okay.
yet. And then the adults vary in color, so you can see the gold on the sides.
Yeah.
And she actually is probably the second most golden one I have, but she's, well, as far as adults, but she's pretty dark. I have a raise up farm bred, who knows if it's wild caught or not, baby from
We're just gonna
Indonesia that's
assume she
pretty
wild
gold.
caught.
But this one is literally a wild caught female, and she's super chill. I mean, just
Oh, nice.
way chill. And the
Yeah.
females from her clutch seem to be pretty chill. And yeah, you can see the iridescence even inside, kind of coming
That's
off some.
cool.
They're super iridescent snakes, even when they're lighter in color. The darker ones are the most iridescent, though. But yeah, she's cool. So she's likely around 5 years old.
Who
And
that
I
in the
know
back
that just
peeking
because
out?
she was caught as a juvenile or like baby, and,
Uh-huh.
and she's been in captivity for 4 years.
Okay.
So I can estimate that she's about 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, she's super chill. And I actually have another female that I have in there breeding that I got the same time as her. I have her paired up right now. But
Mm.
They were that she was actually the bigger of the two, but the other one's bigger right now because she laid eggs.
Nice.
But yeah, so I have two wild caught females that I got at the same time, and those are my breeder females right now. And they weren't proven or anything. They weren't even at the point really when I got them. I prepped for like a year and a half to get the clutch, maybe 2 years.
Mm.
So yeah, she's super chill, super pretty. You can
Yes,
see
she
the white
is.
lips. They
Yeah.
actually have a different varying level of you see this eyelash thing that she has going on?
Mm-hmm.
She was holding relatively still for me for a second. But you can see on the sides they have different amounts of white right next to their eye.
Hmm.
You see that? It looks almost like an eyebrow.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And they have different amounts of white around their lips.
Yeah.
So I may do some stuff trying to selectively breed
Okay.
for different amounts of white on their head and stuff like that, and just for color too, because they do vary in color.
That's
But
dope.
yeah, she's super chill, super pretty. I don't have to worry about her doing anything. I can literally pass her to my nieces, nephews, whoever comes to visit.
She's
You
so
know,
calm.
yeah, like there's snakes that I'll let my soon to be 12-year-old tomorrow hold that I won't let a random kid hold
Hmm.
because he has experience, working
Yeah.
with me with the snakes. But I'll let anybody hold her, you know. Like literally, she has never shown any slightest sign of aggression unless you're holding a rat in front of her.
Oh yeah.
You know.
That's my food.
Yeah, she loves some food. But other than that, really no aggression. She's super chill. And the males and the females have pretty big spurs. I know we're probably not going to be able to show it on camera, but they have some pretty big, distinct spurs, um, by their tail. But yeah, these are super cool snakes. Do you guys want to see one of the babies next?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show
Yes.
you a baby and
Yes.
show you how they're looking right now.
How much does she weigh?
I don't know. I don't really weigh snakes, Cat.
Oh,
The
okay.
only time I weigh snakes is when I'm shipping out baby ball pythons. Because
Oh,
there's like a standard 100-gram weight you need to reach before you ship out a baby ball python. But
okay.
when I'm shipping out a white lip python baby, I'm just making sure it's eaten 15 times consecutively, which ball
Mm-hmm.
python people will know that's more times than you're usually feeding a ball python that
Yeah.
you're sending out. So I'm making sure it's well established. And I have no idea what they weigh. I don't know what the adults weigh. I just know if they have, if they have follicles, if they're showing those signs of having follicles, if they're ovulating and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Who's
I
that
really,
crawling at the top
I don't
shelf?
keep the track of the weights too often. So this is a female. Her personality is kind of like in the middle.
Between
But
mom
this
and
is
dad.
this is my holdback one that
Oh,
I'm
they so
keeping.
small. It's
Okay.
babies.
Yeah, they start out like this, and you see that this animal's basically it's you can see the hints of the gold, and the more light it's in, you can see it.
Hmm.
But this animal's basically a gray animal right now,
Oh wow.
and when it sheds, it'll start to get its color, and the older it gets, it'll start to have that iridescence.
Yeah.
You can see it barely has it right now. It has the slightest hint on its head, but really that's it, and barely that, and literally hasn't had its first shed or meal yet, and new to the world. No clue if it's gonna bite me, but it won't hurt if it does. And yeah, I mean, this is what the babies are looking
So
like. And I have
if
9 of these
someone
right now.
if
Wow.
someone wanted a baby like that as a pet, how would you what advice would you recommend, for a first time pet keeper of a baby white lip?
I
And
would
how would you
say just
establish it
don't
or
be
get it set
scared to
up?
take that initial bite. And one thing, don't be scared to take that initial bite and just continue to work socializing them. And the main thing with white lips that people don't realize is they are very water dependent. If you deprive
So a
this
big water
animal of
bowl.
water, that is very detrimental. So
Okay.
just make sure it has fresh water all the time. Do not
Gotcha.
let that water bowl go dry.
Okay.
Make
Yeah.
sure it has fresh water. Get a good PVC enclosure or something like that that's going to keep the humidity.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Don't put this in a fish tank. You
Right.
know. And anyone that shows me signs like they're not ready for it, I won't sell them the snake. And I actually have every baby already claimed.
Nice.
Um, I
Nice.
have I have 9 babies, and my wait list has 18 people on it right now.
Jeez.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
And so I'm hoping I get another clutch so I can get those people the snake. But if people don't show me the signs like they're ready,
Yeah.
then I don't even put them on the wait list.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not going to sell them the snake. You know, and
Rightfully
this
so.
could be it. You don't have to have the experience. You just have to show me you're willing to put in the work to take care of it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that difficult. You just can't ignore everything I'm saying. You know.
Mhm. And I like how when you send the snake out, I like how you also send out like the feeding regimens. You give them all the information that they need. Every question that they had asked, you already give them. You provide.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean because you know you're paying me to do for you're paying me for a service, not just the animal.
right.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
going to give the best customer service I can, and that includes letting you know exactly what's going on with the snake.
Right.
You know what it's eaten, when it ate that. You know whether it was frozen thawed, whether it was live. Usually it's frozen thawed. Everything I send out is already eating frozen thawed, even ball pythons.
Mhm.
But sometimes to get a ball python going, I give it live. You'll see that in the feeding chart. Sometimes the snake didn't eat. You'll see that in the feeding chart, and you'll see a note as to why.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, was it in shed? That note's on there. You know what I mean? Sometimes I buy groups of animals, and then I'll keep them for a couple months, and then I'll sell some of them, and you'll see who produced it. You know, when it hatched from them. If it's a carpet python, you'll see its lineage. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I give as much information as I can because that's what
Mhm.
I would want as a buyer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, these are. I
you.
love these snakes. Let me go
Is
find another one for you of a different age.
that a carpet behind you? It's crawling around at the top.
Yeah, you know what? Do you want me to bring him out? He looks like he wants to come out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing. Ever since you start showing the snakes, it was out roaming. Like, hey, I want to party.
He's literally staring right at me. He's right here looking right at
uh,
me. He knows that I'll take him out, and he
Yeah.
probably just noticed I was down here.
Yeah.
uh,
He's like, "Where's my screen time?"
Yeah, he's pretty smart. And literally, if I open this, usually he'll just come out on his own and just start moving. But
What's his
yeah, this
name?
is a super cool snake. I named him Smiley. He's a coastal
Smiley.
carpet,
Oh.
but he's like 4 years old too.
Mm.
Super cool guy. He's just a regular coastal carpet. He's het phrasantic, but that's not a visual trait, obviously, since it's het.
Right.
But so visually, he's just a regular coastal. I actually
What
have a
type
really
of
cool
what type of
hypomelanistic
enclosure is
coastal
that?
that I could show you after him to compare. I actually like how he looks as
That
a
is
normal
nice.
coastal.
Ooh, as a
I love
pet.
how he
That is
looks.
nice.
Yeah. He's so long.
He's a cool snake. Yeah, I mean these snakes. Look up a video of one of these in the wild. These things can get massive. I mean, you'll see
That
videos of
is
these things eating wallabies in Australia.
that is
What?
so cool.
Seriously, yeah, like these the females of this species can get up around 10 feet.
Wow.
Wow.
And a male if I was to feed him super heavy. But like this guy, I mean, his body weight is great right now.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I literally for the past couple months, he's been eating like once a month.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'll just
Mm.
feed him a big meal that once a month, and then just chill. Like I don't have feeding schedules for my animals. I judge off how they look.
Okay.
You know, so like you could tell this guy's not missing any meals.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
not at
You know,
all.
he's looking good. He's and he's not obese either. So that's how I like to keep my stuff. Is just like, especially my pets are going to be that nice in between. My breeders, sometimes to make sure I get the egg production and stuff like that, I'm going to give them that fast sometimes of certain species where they don't eat for like 3 months and stuff like that. And I'll just hit them with food real hard before and after that. But
Hmm.
that's nothing like that's pretty much what would happen in the wild. And then that could help to trigger that to breed. So that's why you would do that. But my pets, like I just make sure their body weight's good. My
Yeah.
boa eats like every month or two. You know, my retic wants to eat every day, but
Yeah.
I'll feed it like every 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
Depending what I give it.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
know I know this answer is subjective, but in your opinion, let's say someone came to you and said, I want my first pet snake, but I don't want it to be a ball python or a BCI boa. Which one in your collection would you recommend?
Oh, if they wanted me to recommend one from my collection, I would say that. You
Like
know,
which species? Yeah.
I would say corn snakes is a snake I recommend a lot, but I would recommend them to get whatever they want because they're the one that has to take care of it for the next 20 years.
True.
You
Facts.
know, so that's
Facts.
kind of my opinion on that. Is like I find it hard to recommend to people, you know, anything because I first want to see what they want, and I hate the term beginner snake because why are you
Mm-hmm.
buying a snake you don't want just to work your way up to another snake?
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
Just
used
buy
to
the
hear that a lot
do the
in the
proper
beginning.
research and take care of what you actually wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
True.
You know, and yeah, there's some exceptions to that. Like your first snake, if you want your first snake to be a king cobra, that's going to be pretty tough. You know, but there's literally a story of a guy, and you can look this up on YouTube. I don't know what exactly you would search, but his first pet snake was a gaboon viper, and
Wow.
it was he
Mm.
served in the military. I forgot what country he was from, but he served in the military, and he did some time in the military in Africa, and he kept seeing gaboon vipers, and he thought it was his spirit animal. So
Oh.
when he went, he wanted a pet snake, and he didn't want anything but a gaboon viper. And he went and found a gaboon viper, set it up in a huge bioactive enclosure, and kept it for the next 20 plus years. I think he still has it.
Oh
Wow.
And it's over.
wow.
He's had it over 20 years. It's the only snake he's ever owned, and he never got any other snakes after that. And that's the only
Oh.
snake he wanted.
Yeah.
So that shows you if you pick a snake that you really want, the
Mm-hmm.
snake that you wanted can be your first beginner snake.
True.
You
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have to take care of it for the next 20 years. You don't have to like buy 5 corn snakes before you get a ball python, buy 5 ball pythons before you get a carpet, whatever. I'm just making that order up, like, but you know, yeah, you know, I don't really believe in beginner snakes. Just make sure you do your research.
Yeah. So, I
Greg,
had
you're
that
hilarious.
question earlier about the enclosure. What's that enclosure that you have behind you?
Which
I
one?
li- The one that he
That
came out of. I
he
like
came
that.
out of.
Yeah.
So this company, I'm not going to endorse them. First of all, they're out of business.
Oh.
Oh.
Secondly, they owed me a light when they went out of business. Uh, he probably would have ripped it out anyways. But they owed me a light, but I'm not going to endorse them. But I will say, beneath them, I have some reptile cages enclosures, and I do like reptile cages.
Okay.
They make some solid enclosures, and they have
Nice.
great customer service.
Really?
They actually their enclosures were perfect. Everything went together great. But they sent me a lock, and the lock is made by another company, not them. They just sell locks as well. And
Mm.
the lock didn't work, and they actually sent me 2 replacements.
Okay.
So they're super cool. They were easy to reach, and after my other experience where the other company went out of business, owed me a light, you know, that was a good experience to have. So I recommend reptile cages. They're pretty cool. And
That's
I
what's
know
up.
I have spoken with, I don't have any, but I know Black Box Cages is a sponsor of the channel.
What up,
And I
Jet?
have had some good conversations with them as well. They seem very nice.
Okay.
So I will. Do you guys want to see the hypomelanistic to compare to this?
Get it?
Yes.
So this is a normal
Yes.
carpet python. Obviously, melanism is going to be the black scales, right? The darker scales. So hypomelanistic is not like an albino where you just don't have that pigment at all. It just lacks most of it. So a
Mm.
hypomelanistic you're going to see is much different in color than this. It's going to be taking out all the melanin. So I actually am shipping her out tomorrow to a company in Arizona.
Sammy, of
Sammy, I'm
course.
gonna start dancing. All I need is a wig, brother. I need a wig.
Is that Sammy?
Yeah, send me in the chat.
Sammy makes my day every day.
Every morning.
Yes,
Yeah.
every morning.
I literally will show my wife those videos, and she's like, "That man loves y'all community."
Yeah.
But this is the same exact species,
Ooh.
but hypomelanistic. So it's lacking the melanin,
That's dope.
Okay.
I'll send you away.
most of it. Hey, Sam.
There he is. There he is. That's Uncle Sammy.
Sammy, then you're gonna have competition. I love your videos, Sammy. I love it. Every morning I wake up, the first thing I do is watch Sammy's video.
Every morning.
I'm seeing him next Saturday.
He's awesome. I can't wait to meet him in
Nice.
person. I bet he's really cool.
He is. He's a
Yeah.
sweetheart. He's a man child, but yeah.
Nothing wrong with love and life.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, this girl, like I said, I got her sold already. She's going to Pursuit of Python. Shout out to them. They're in Arizona. And I believe they're opening a storefront. And they have a male to pair with her, but she's a pure hypo-coastal. And she's super chill. I really thought about keeping her because she's just so chill. She's a really
Yeah.
sweet snake. But it's crazy how different the color is. You see, she's not missing all the melanin. There is black specks in there,
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
but she's just missing most of it, which is what makes her a hypo. But you know what? I got some Papuan carpets. I'll show you those. You guys probably haven't seen those yet. I got
No,
those
I
in
haven't.
recently.
Yeah. And you made that video a week ago, right? The Papua New Guinea video, the snakes.
I don't know if I probably made it more than a week ago, but I will say pretty much every species from Papua I'm fascinated with. I love stuff from Papua. Their whole culture is crazy. They literally still have cannibalistic tribes over there. It's an
Yeah.
island that's bigger than Texas, and it's one of the most diverse ecosystems in the
What up,
world.
Ron?
So Papua is super fascinating to me. So I love stuff from there. And Papuan carpets are really the only carpet python that can still be imported. Now the ones that I have are captive bred.
Okay.
But they can actually still be imported because they're not from Australia. They're from Papua.
Right, yeah.
So they're actually really pretty, and a lot of people would know them better as Irian Jaya carpets.
The what?
But Irian Jaya is not actually a place. So
Ooh.
I would rather call them Papuan carpets, like where they're actually from.
Wow. Their tails look like literal whips. Like if it whooped you in the face, that's it. Get it.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Okay.
But their tails do look like that, and that is because they're great climbers.
Oh.
Carpet pythons are wonderful climbers in general.
Okay.
But yeah, I love the browns on these. I love how they have some yellows to them. And these are super cool to me. Eventually, I'm going to probably I haven't decided if I'm going to keep one or not. I have 3 females right now. So keeping one would be starting a whole new project. I'd have to go get a male. But I like them. I think they're pretty cool. And I've always loved species from Papua. Like, scrub pythons, for example, also from Papua. They have scrub pythons in Australia, but the ones we have over here are from Papua.
Okay.
Bismarck ringed pythons are from Papua. Green tree pythons
Ooh, those are nice.
are from Papua. But there's a lot of Papuan pythons, of course. I don't know if you've seen those Apodora, but they're awesome as well. They're basically a Papuan olive python, but they'll eat other snakes. They get like 14 feet. They're pretty cool. But yeah, these Papuan carpets are super pretty to me, and like you could find these for years, and I think they're really underappreciated. Like you could find these 20 years ago at an expo, and some guy was calling them Irian Jaya carpet pythons. And if you go on Morph Market, they're still under the category Irian Jaya. But if you look at the map, there's no place called Irian Jaya. So that's why I call them Papuans.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, and yeah, so they're
If someone
super
wanted
pretty.
to get into owning one of these beautiful snakes, how much do they usually run on average? Even for just a classic, the normal.
I would probably sell this for like 400 plus shipping.
Oh, okay.
I mean, literally, I'm gonna make this exact snake available. This snake will be available. I buy groups of snakes sometimes, and then I make sure they're healthy for a couple months. I buy them from great sources anyway, so they already are. But I wait like 2-3 months, and then I sell them. So in like a month or so, this one will be ready to go. It's eating great. It's healthy. But I have a couple more, just like this one. But yeah, I would sell this for $450 shipped, free shipping. If I was going to do free shipping, just $450, literally. And this is a nice snake. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think they're super expensive. You know what I mean?
And
If you get into some of the morph stuff and stuff like that, they're a little bit more. But like that coastal I showed you guys just now, my pet, I bought him for $150.
Oh, okay.
What?
Coastals are like super cheap, and I literally That hypo
Interesting.
that I just showed you guys, um, those are worth like at her age, the babies are sold for like $900.
Wow.
At her age, she's worth well over that. But I think the normal looks better.
Yeah.
I think the $150
Yeah, I
snake
could deal with them
actually looks
normal.
better.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can get
Explain
it at
this to
carpets
me.
for pretty
At
cheap.
expos, why are the ball pythons over like 1,000 something, and then you have your carpets less?
It depends what morphin ball pythons, right?
Okay.
And things are going to be worth what people are willing to pay for them.
Hmm.
I just looked at a Bowen's python on Morph Market for 20 grand. Bowen's python's also from Papua, by the way.
Wow.
But
Mm.
20
I'm gonna
grand.
have to do a lot
I
of research
mean,
on Papua.
Yeah.
if you really want these snakes to be, working in the hobby, then don't, charge people an arm and a leg like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Bowen's pythons
Don't
are a
make it
bit different
impossible. Yeah.
because they have to go through a lot of steps to get here that other snakes,
Hmm.
even from Papua, don't have to go through. So
Yeah.
there is more of a cost to bring one in. But at the same time, some
Gotcha.
of that is just the middleman marking the price up.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it depends what people are willing to pay for an animal. Just like you could have a designer green tree baby, you don't know what color it's even going to be yet, and it
Yeah.
could be worth 10 grand easily based on the parents.
Yeah. That's true.
And that snake could turn out green and just look normal and
Hmm.
not have any of the blue, black,
The yellow.
yellow, whatever it is that you were looking for. It's able to produce those, but if you were just buying it as a pet, it's like rolling the dice. But based on the lineage, it's worth 10 grand, and people are going to pay that because they know even if that snake turns out green, they can produce some crazy looking babies.
Yeah, because of the
You
lid.
know,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, different snakes have different values for different reasons. You could get a ball python that still to this day that sells for like 50 grand. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
got to be
Yeah.
something no one else has and that they want
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You could have something no one else has that
Yeah.
no one wants. You know
True.
what I mean?
Yeah.
With ball pythons or with any snake. But
Mm-mm.
yeah, supply and demand basically, cat is like the short answer. But
Okay.
it's different stuff with different species. And I think carpets are pretty cool and most of them are pretty affordable. Even a jungle is only going to run you like $400 or $500.
Hmm. So when you were a kid and you went to like the pet store and everything, did you ever imagine yourself right now, like, oh, in the future, I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna be doing this? Did you, when you first saw your first snake, did you imagine yourself that?
I'm about to answer this honestly, and my answer scares me. I didn't think I was going to live past 19. I mean, to be
Oh
really
wow.
honest, I never thought that I would even live past 19. I didn't see my life. Not that I thought I'd be dead, but I didn't have the foresight
Uh-huh.
at that age
Yeah.
to really think about that. And if I went back in time and told myself that, I probably would have been surprised.
Oh.
I probably would have been surprised.
Yeah.
But people that are around me and have been around me for a long time are not surprised at all.
Mm.
They saw something that I did not see.
Okay.
And I didn't think I was doing anything special. I just liked what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I didn't think there was anything special about what I was doing. But now people are like, "You're like the snake whisperer," and I'm like, "I just let it bite me." You know. I
I just
don't
let
think
it
that's that
abuse me to
special.
put desired.
That's not a skill. Um, but
He likes
yeah,
them
those are
spicy.
super cool snakes. Let me see what else I can get out. You know what? I don't know if he's watching, but I have that Farmerston still that I'm going to send out to Stan
Oh, that's right.
from Sea of Serpents
Mm.
Morphs.
Yeah, he was asking
This
for
is a
it.
really cool jungle carpet locality, and they
Yeah.
don't get as big, and they're very striped.
Yeah. That's the
Mm.
one Stan
That's
wanted.
cool.
Stan is getting this one.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I just haven't sent her out yet. And believe it or not, this is a breedable female.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. So this
So they don't
locality,
get that big.
they do
Pause.
not get very big, and they have this crazy stripe that goes all the way up the dorsal. And I love
Yeah.
that about them. And they're cool because Stan's gonna put her on display. But if you were to breed a group of these, technically you could be fine in like CB70s. You
Wow.
know? And that
Oh
would actually be
wow.
big for them because they're not that big of a snake. Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
thickness is like a king snake.
Yeah, they're weird. They're like they're kind of stout, They're almost like the blood python of carpets, the way that they're kind of like stocky like that.
Yeah.
They're not anywhere close to as thick as a blood python.
Right.
But yeah, I mean they're cool snakes. And this one has some really deep blacks on it that I really like a lot.
I see that.
I
It
really
looks
like
like the
this locality.
pyramids.
I have some this is an exclusive. I won't tell you what else is coming with it because I'm gonna break it as a surprise on my YouTube channel. But I
Okay.
have 7 snakes coming next week. And
Okay.
a bunch of them are jungle carpets that are half this locality. So their father was Palmerston, and their mom was like
Mm.
that black and yellow traditional jungle.
Black and
And when you
yellow,
mix
black and
those
yellow.
together, you still have a pure jungle because this is just a locality. But it ends up
Oh.
being like some crazy yellow and orange combination with striping, but then the striping breaks up and it just looks so chaotic
Yeah.
that they're actually super cool. So I'm gonna have a bunch of those jungles coming in next week. But I have
Oh
some other
wow.
stuff coming with it that I'm keeping a secret. But I'm doing my best. But yeah, like this snake is actually super cool. I like how she looks. This
Yeah.
is just a beautiful snake. And obviously Palmerston is in Australia, so these are not getting imported. What we have is what we have.
Hmm.
So, you know, the people
Yeah.
that are breeding these are just responsible for keeping the spine alive, this locality. And people
Beautiful.
have to care about the locality. And I think that teaching people about animals in the wild and stuff like that is how you get people to care about localities and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. And there's nothing wrong with morphs because if someone sees a pie that I have, you know, they want to hold it and they're interested about snakes and they're like, how did you make a snake look like this? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Some of these morphs bring people in and
Yeah.
Yep.
that's cool, but I think conservation is super important and appreciating how an animal would literally look in the wild is important too because these animals in the wild look just like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is dope. And not to mention, some of these morphs ha- happen in the wild. Like,
Yeah, they do. I mean, how
yeah,
do you think we got them?
most of them, because
Yeah.
some people got this misconception that the morph just popped up, in a collection of selective breeding. But a lot of times they came from the wild. They were discovered in the wild, like
And
all the albinos and stuff like that.
the
Usually,
pies, there's
yeah,
wild
the
pies.
pies. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, all that stuff is coming in as wild caught stuff, except for the things that have popped up just in captive bred collections. But
Yeah,
that gene had to come from somewhere.
it had to.
So,
Yep.
you know, likely it was in the wild and we just didn't know it.
Yep.
Yeah, so all these the
But if
mutations
that's
do come
the
from the wild.
classic, I like that. I like that
Yeah.
locality. That is
It's
dope.
beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Like what you were just saying, Elias, is like there's a place actually where there's scrub pythons, right?
Hmm.
And I forget what subspecies of scrub it is. The scrubs should be full species, but that's a whole other thing. But the scrub pythons in this area, their area has been deforested, so it's
Mm.
become an urban area where people live. So
Okay.
you don't see the normals as much anymore. You just see axanthics, which are basically gray because they
Wow.
blend
Because
in better to the
they
urban area.
adapted to the apartments, the houses.
Yep,
Over time,
yep.
over generations, they just adapted to their surroundings.
Yeah.
So the morph has become the survival technique in that area.
That's crazy.
So you
But
can't say
makes
this
sense.
morph wouldn't survive in the wild because they literally developed that to survive.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so that is definitely true. Yeah.
I'm learning something new. I think I know what my next pet will be.
Let me see what else I can get out. Um, you know what? This isn't something like super abnormal, but I love this corn
Ooh,
snake right here.
orange.
I love horns.
This is our
Corns.
pet corn snake. My wife named her Tinkerbell.
Yeah, she's so pretty.
I love it.
Yeah, my wife loves the Disney stuff, so I end up with a lot of Disney names. Like you just saw Belle. I
Yeah.
have a male named Beast.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Fifi, and that is also from Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, Tinkerbell
Yep.
is Het A melanistic, Het Ultra, and visually together they have an effect,
Hmm.
which is
Nice.
really cool. And she's motley as well. You can see these circles on her back.
Hmm.
But visually, the Het A mel and Het Ultra go together and make this crazy orange snake.
I
Which I,
love that. I love that corn snake morphs in genetics are able to do what so many people have been trying to do in ball pythons for so many years. It's just naturally for them.
It's
Yeah,
Like
easy
all
kind
to
the
of. And
raise
like,
reds
too.
and the oranges, you know, if you want it, you get a corn snake.
Yeah.
yeah, like they have colors to work with that we don't, in the ball pythons. And I say we because I don't breed corn snakes. My buddy Dan from Shack Scales actually sold me this, and she's a
Damn.
proven breeder. But I don't breed her. I just like, she's just an ambassador animal. I'll
Yeah.
just pass her to people. Everybody loves holding her. And then I'll teach them about the difference in the pupils being round versus the pupils being slits in other snakes, and
Yeah.
how that
Hmm.
means they're active at a different time of day and
Right.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And she's fun to teach people about, corn snakes. And I keep her like her hotspot's like 81,
Hmm.
and she's never
Oh,
on
okay.
it. So like, I mean, corn snakes are super easy.
Yeah.
And she's actually bioactive as well.
Oh, even
Um,
in that container, in that tub.
Yeah, yeah. So this is just literally a big tote from
Yeah, I'm
Walmart.
gonna say, could you show me how that bioactive is set up?
Yeah,
Cause
I'll show you. So
I'm
I don't know if I
thinking
can turn
of,
my screen around, but I can do my best
yeah,
to
Yeah.
show
yeah.
you. But she has hides on each side,
Okay.
and she has
Oh,
cork bark. She has leaves.
Yep.
Her isopods are going crazy. I mean, she has plenty of isopods in there. Couple
Send me
water
some
bowls,
isopods.
and she has heat on this end, and I've literally just put air holes in it.
Yep.
You
mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
she's bioactive in a literal hefty tub from Walmart.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
for her size of snake, that's completely fine. And I actually have my leopard gecko in one of these too. The problem with my leopard gecko is that he likes to eat the isopods.
Oh, he's gonna get
He's
fat.
He
he's eating
thinks
the
that's the
cleanup
coolest
crew.
thing ever to do. But here's my leopard gecko right here, and I'll actually pick him up, and he may bite me, but that's okay. Here, come here,
Yeah,
buddy.
that's fine.
He bit my 3-year-old and hung on, and my 3-year-old will not stop talking about it. But
There
my
you go.
wife
There you
was
go.
letting him, and I do this too, so I'm not saying that she was doing it without my supervision or something. It was just her. She
Yeah.
happened to be there that day. But she was feeding him super worms and letting my son feed him super worms, my 3-year-old. Look at his eye, it just focused.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, and then he didn't put a super worm in and stuck his
He trying to
finger
bite
right
you
in
now.
front of his name is Jax. He stuck his finger right in front of his face, and Jax just bit onto him and latched on like a tokay gecko.
Oh wow.
And then yeah, he ran upstairs. He was like, bit me, you
That's
know.
funny.
But yeah, this animal is actually super cool, and it's just this literally is a leopard gecko that I got from Petco.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
And this is the last animal I ever got from there.
Wow.
But he was literally in a tank with like 10 other leopard geckos, and he was the
Oh.
biggest one stealing all their food.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm
Yeah,
gonna
this
survive
this
this."
guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He's actually super cool.
Yeah.
So, question. If I were to get a baby carpet python,
Yeah,
would you recommend that hefty tub to start it off? A baby.
yeah. I keep my babies in tubs. I would say you could do a small PVC if you
Hmm.
wanted to, spend the money
Like
on it.
how many feet? Like how many feet?
2x2 with the biggest.
2 by 2. Okay.
The babies start out. That Papuan carpet I just showed you is a
Yeah,
year
that
old.
pop one. Okay.
That
There's
snake
Moss
is a
one.
year old, which will probably shock a lot of people. Sorry, I just went upside down, but
Yeah, no, you
yeah,
good.
that'll probably shock a lot of people. But that carpet pythons do not start out very big. They start out like the size of those white lip babies that I showed
Yeah. Okay.
you. They don't start out crazy big. We got time for another animal.
Yeah, yeah. We got time for one more animal.
All right, let me pull out King Midas. See,
And
he's
what
not
up,
always in the best mood,
Mitzi?
but
And
that's
thank you for
okay. We
tapping
want to
in.
see
We
him.
appreciate
So
y'all.
once he gets out, he chills out a little bit.
Elias wants a carpet. That's what.
Look,
Yeah,
I'll
no,
be doing. Look,
carpets are awesome,
I'll be
and
doing a lot
I
of.
don't breed them yet, but I always have them. So if you
Yeah.
ever want one for me, I'll be more than happy to oblige. But if you end up liking a type that I don't have, you can just ask me questions too. Um, that's totally okay because I encourage people, like I said, to get what they really want. All right, so this is Midas.
Yeah. He's nice.
Yeah, he's super gold, and I actually show him off a lot. I'm trying to calm him down a little bit right now because you see he's still coiled up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to show him off at the same time, so I guess I'm taking my time calming him down. But I don't worry about him too much once I get him out. But he will wait for the opportunity when he's in the enclosure to try and bite me right in the face. So he's pretty calculated, but he's the most golden white lip we have.
Wow.
And he's super pretty. He's 13 years old, like I said.
Oh.
He's captive bred, and I think I'm like his fifth or sixth owner.
Okay, so he's been passed down.
He's been passed around a bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
But yeah. So I mean, he actually was thought by all the previous owners. The last one before me figured it out, but never checked. He was thought to be a female, and therefore he kept getting fed to breed, but he never ovulated because he was a male. And then they just ended up with a really big male.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's actually a really big male northern white lip, and he's super cool. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like the perfect person to end up with him because I feel like sometimes I feel like an ambassador for the white lips.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm gonna show him off and actually give him the spotlight that a beautiful animal like this deserves.
Exactly.
You know, so I actually really like having him, but just the sides are crazy gold. And I love this animal. He's super cool.
I feel like every time someone gets an animal, they get that fear like, oh, is it going to be okay with me? Am I going to do the right thing? But then down the line, and you look back and you're like, wow, I actually did a really good thing. And then it turns out to be one of the best things you ever did.
Yeah, just stay committed.
Yeah.
Stay committed and don't quit, just like anything else.
Yeah.
If you have the commitment to, really take care of the animal, you're not going to have a problem.
Exactly.
And that's true with most species. You know what I mean? At the same time, do your due diligence. Like, don't take risks on wild caught stuff if you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
I have people that get mad at me. They'll ask me a price on a white lip. I'll give them the price on a captive white lip, and they're expecting it to be the same price as a fresh import.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, there's a reason that's that price.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've bought some and took the risk on them, but I'm trying to breed them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason for you to do that. If you want a pet that's going to be healthy, buy something captive, and that goes for like any species. If you're breeding something wild caught, then go for it. You know what I mean? Just know the risks that come with it. Try to mitigate those risks as best you can. But, captive bred is the way to go buying pretty much anything.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, he's a cool thing. I love this guy. Yeah, he's pretty cool, and he's okay once he gets out.
Now, out of your whole collection, I don't know if I asked you this before. What is your, I'm not going to say favorite, but what is the one animal in your collection that you are always flabbergasted? Like either you look at it and you're just like, wow.
Probably my retic. Probably my retic because my retic symbolized something else for me too. That hey Wiz, my retic symbolized something. Wiz deserves that. Wiz is super cool, but yeah, my retic symbolized something more for me, and that was if I'm gonna commit to raising this snake particularly, I might as well just jump into this all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got my retic, I decided, you know what? Why am I waiting? I want to breed. Let me just breed. I'm not going to breed this retic, but but let me go try to breed some stuff, and then let me go for a species that people don't really breed like that. Let me go for northern white lip pythons because I like them. You know what I mean? Now I have an excuse to go buy them because I can produce them. You know what I mean? So now it's like, oh, I don't have to rationalize just buying it as a pet. This is a project that I can actually be working on. And then it turned out I was successful because I was dedicated. I set it up, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But yeah, my retic symbolized for me the fact that I was willing to put up with an animal that was going to grow 15 plus feet as a mainland female retic like her will. And she's only like 2.5 years now, but ever since I got her, I've just been building momentum with the reptiles. I've gone full time into reptiles now, and I never would have did that without my retic. And there's nothing like seeing a 15, 20 foot retic. that just it's captivating, and
Yeah.
it gets you wondering about snakes. And when the heat pits are as big as your nostrils, you can see the features on the snake. You know what I mean? And it's cool to be able to point that out and like teach people. And I have one that's super tame, so it's going to make a great ambassador.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully, I plan to eventually move to a bigger property, and I want to have almost an enclosure the size of the room I'm in for my retic.
Yeah.
So my buddy Dan right now, I think he's building like a 10 by 10 by 10, I think.
Oh.
For his 15-foot retic.
Wow.
And he's been working at that. I'll eventually show it. He's super cool, way off the radar guy. His handle is Shaq Scales on
Yeah.
Instagram, but he does not care if you follow him or not because he's not going to check anything. But he's so cool. He's produced Spilotes, tiger rat snakes, back to back years, and doesn't want any credit from anybody. Does not care in the slightest. Just thinks it's cool. You know what I mean? And that's the type of people I really mesh with. Is people that just think reptiles and animals are cool. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's why, I've made so many great friends in this community and stuff like that. But yeah. But yeah, like you know, retics are like going to the reptarium was transformational for me as well.
Yeah.
So my wife was pregnant with my 3-year-old, and she bought her and I tickets to fly into Detroit and stay in Utica and go to the reptarium. And this is before the legacy. This is when Brian Barczyk was still alive and stuff like that. And she bought us tickets, and she ended up so pregnant with our 3-year-old she couldn't go on the trip that she planned.
Wow.
And I actually just took my dad at the last second, who really he was never opposed, but he could care less. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I took him, and he had a blast. And like I was
Oh,
like, "Are you gonna hold a reticulated python or whatever, like a Burmese python, something like that?" And he was like, "I don't know." And the first thing they did when I went in there, they had like this like 12-foot berm. It was like a hypo berm, and I held it, and then they took it off me, and I was like, he wants to hold it next, and I pointed at my dad, and he hadn't said anything, like, and then they just put it on his shoulders, and he was like, this is awesome, and then yeah, we were just going discovering different stuff, and they had some girl that worked there that was like kind of new, and she was like, Kat, I don't mean to offend here, but she was probably like your height, right? And the people there, the people at the store were kind of messing with her, right? Like it seemed like they were kind of flirting, but they were kind of like poking fun at her. It seemed like they had like a banter, but there
Yeah.
was a male at the store that was telling her, he was like, I was telling her facts that she didn't know while she was giving me a tour. So I told her, I was like telling my dad and her, this is the only species of snake that's ever eaten a human being. But it was only in the wild. And she was like,
Oh.
what? That happened? And then the guy next to her was like, yeah, and they were about your size. And then you saw the fear, in her eyes. And then
Wow.
she actually let me go into the enclosures and pick the retics up in the reptarium. So the enclosures are big enough for me to stand in. So I'm like walking into the enclosures and just picking up random retics I've never, interacted with before in my life.
Mm.
Yeah, and then but they of course have marked what you can and can't pick up and stuff. They
Right.
know these are ambassador animals.
Mhm.
So these are some pretty calm snakes I'm picking up. But like it was just cool. And then there was this one that was, I think her name was Gemma. She was like 17 feet and like 135 pounds, something like that. I put her on my shoulders because I didn't have experience handling retics. And she basically put me in a full Nelson
Oh.
and she basically locked my arms behind my back
Oh.
just
Wow.
just for a split second, and then I was able to get out of it. But
Uh-huh.
I was like, that snake is strong, that
Wow.
is crazy. And then boom, it was like a new challenge unlocked.
Okay.
I was like, I gotta get one of these
Yeah.
because now I gotta figure out how to handle a reticulated python. You know what I mean? So they were really something that, though I don't really plan on breeding them, at least not until I have more space, and I'll maybe do it one time.
Yeah.
But I don't really have plans to breed them. But reticulated pythons are fascinating. Mine's super cool, super smart, and they're a super cool snake. So they
Yeah.
kind of propelled me into all this.
Yeah, I've always loved those stories of their first time, either holding their first snake, holding their first tarantula, holding whatever, their first thing, their mind is blown. Like the first time my stepdad, we went to Sammy's house, he got to hold one of Sammy's big boys. And my stepdad is also named Sam. And so Sammy, he put the snake on Sam and he was not expecting it. He was gonna touch it. But no, Sammy was like, here you go, boom. And my
Yep.
stepdad was like, oh wow, this is not that bad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool. And
Yeah.
Elias, I was saying, like with the photo shoots and stuff like that, I bet these people have no plans to come in and then love snakes when they leave. But they have to sit there and shoot the photos with the snake, and they got to hold the snake
Yeah, yeah.
for the photos. And then at the end, they have a rapport with this animal.
Yeah.
You know, that's super cool.
Yeah.
You know, I love moments like that. And
Yeah.
I don't run an educational program or anything. I've thought about doing photo shoots, but like endless kids will come over for like my son's birthday party or different stuff like that. And then suddenly the whole party's in the snake room with me, you
Mhm.
know, whole different stuff and stuff like that. And then the adults are like, where'd everybody go?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then the adults will come downstairs and be scared. And then I'm like, no, it's okay. Like you can touch. And then I'm like babying them more than the kids,
Hmm.
you know, but it's really fun to get people put on to holding snakes for the first time. And really once you can get them to touch the animal, that's when you won. Because
Yeah.
the animal does the rest for you.
Exactly. You get to see their appreciation, and that's what we're here as well. We love what we do, and we love seeing people be like get their minds blown, literally their jaw drop. We love to see that. So that's why when we have people like us in this community and we get to see that, it's just it's rewarding.
Absolutely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. Oh, Eliza, you're mute. No. 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 Okay. We'll be back after these messages.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. I think for an idea for one of your videos that you could do, Kyle,
Yeah.
is like a commercial idea, like introducing a snake to someone who hasn't had the chance, or you know what I'm trying to say, like
Yeah.
you ever had, or have you ever had a friend who's just afraid of blah blah, and then you introduce, and the person's like, oh, like with
Yeah.
Courtney, like I love that video.
Yeah. My dad was like trying to pitch me this idea, and
Uh-huh.
then someone already so that's why I'm laughing. And this is way like left field right now. But my dad was like, you should make a video where you teach people how to like hold snakes or lizards, and you're like, do you have reptile dysfunction? And then I was like, yo, that's crazy. And he had me laughing. That was so funny. But I looked
Oh
and there's
man.
literally I literally have a follower on Instagram already named Reptile Dysfunction. I was like, that's crazy that
No
he's not the first
way.
person that thought of that. Cause it was like he said it out of nowhere. It was completely like he thought of it
Yeah.
on his own. And yeah, that's why I was laughing. But no, I know people that I could probably get
Yeah.
to show up here who have never held a snake
Hmm.
and that would do it. So that would be interesting to do. That's
Yeah.
definitely a good idea.
I don't know
And
if
I
we can
wanted to
also laugh
say
all together.
cat, uh, Pteronoculus moranus,
Uh-huh.
Acanthoscuria gemiculata,
Uh-huh.
Psalmopoeus victori.
Hey!
Yeah, that's my three
Hey!
newest tarantulas. I just wanted to say, since you were quizzing me on the podcast that we did.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Perfect. You did it perfect. Said it perfect.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
didn't even say pterodactyl this time.
No. Not even a sweat.
There
There
you
we
go,
go.
bro. I can't name mine
Okay, there we go.
without the label in
Okay.
front of me.
Just talk to
There you go.
Kat and then
There
she'll
you go.
quiz you.
Yeah, I was letting Elias do it. Hey, now you have to do my thing. I'm out of here.
So, where was I? Oh, we probably closing off. Oh, sorry. Well, thank you so much, Kyle, for coming in and showing us your amazing animals. You now got me hooked. Now I'm finna go do my research
Yeah.
on a new species. But we really do appreciate you, and of course, thank you, Kat, for coming in to fill in as host.
Thank you.
We appreciate you as well. Thank you to everybody in the chats tuned in live, and shout out to the replay gang, #replay gang. But don't go anywhere, everybody, because FNA has their show coming on next, and later on, about 15 minutes, and later on tonight we have Breeding for the Future with the old men, with the old minds. And who's the guest again? Oh, Windy City. So thank y'all, and thank y'all for supporting the Whiskey Bum Network. Thank y'all for tapping into Everyday Keepers. Father Dunn will be back next week. And like he always says every Sunday, love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, how the hell you spell anybody else to? And as Prophet always say, get the F up off our phones. Happy Sunday, y'all. We love y'all. Call your mother. Yes, call your mother.
Dearly beloved, we are here to talk about this thing called keepers. Keeper means forever, and forever is a mighty long time.